Not one string, but a million. Not strings, but steel cables. A million steel cables, all tying me to one thing, to the very center of the universe. I could see that now, how the universe swirled around this one point. I'd never seen the symmetry of the universe before, but now it was plain. The gravity of the earth no longer tied me to the place where I stood. It was the baby girl in the blonde vampire's arms that held me there now. Renesmee. Fucking name of the
name,
baby,
dude.
dude. God, it's so stupid.
It's the worst. It's so bad. I don't know, Renee and Esme. I was thinking Renesmee. Yeah.
And like, I guess that's Mormon, right? Like, I like naming after both parents' names, like combining the names.
I don't know, dude. I mean,
and the middle name with Carlisle and Charlie. Carly.
I mean, don't you remember Albus Severus?
Yeah.
That was pretty bad.
It was bad, but at least those were already names, and they weren't combined into like one. It was first and middle.
Albus Severus.
Albus Severus Potter, the Cursed Child. Did you read that one, The Cursed Child?
No.
Oh. Oh, God, they need to stop making new ones of that. It's disgusting, dude. It was absolutely disgusting. And they're making that a movie now, I guess, because it's like a hit play, and it's gonna be terrible. I think the only reason they haven't made it, I think like Daniel Radcliffe and has like kind of refused to.
Good.
Yeah. And I think because that book wasn't written yet, that it's not in his contract, because he still has that contract where he has to show up and do like Orlando Studios shit, like in Universal Studios, like it contractually, since he's the face of Harry Potter. He makes a lot of money off that because like his face is sold on all the merchandise and shit. I think he makes like $15 million a year just off his Harry Potter royalties that he gets. Just because every time they sell like a cup, like a mug in the gift shop with his face on it, like he gets a payout. But like and he's just like, no, I'm not coming back. And that book wasn't written yet, or that play, The Cursed Child, wasn't written yet. So now Radcliffe's just like, nah, like I'm done doing Harry stuff. Like everything that I'm not contractually obligated to show up for.
Yeah, good for him, dude.
Like I'm not gonna do it. So like he had to show up for the reunion. He had to show up for like all this other shit that they did.
I like him better playing stupid evil characters in very bad rom-coms anyway.
Yeah, and he's not a good actor. Like he's not a good actor, but I admire the fact that he is taking the money that he's getting payouts every year from this empire that he was a part of, and just doing like weird indie movies, like not giving a fuck, like doing like theater and like just going for it. Wish he was a better actor, because Pattinson kind of did that too, although I doubt he's making as much money as Radcliffe is off of.
Pattinson's good.
But Pattinson's a good actor, so he's getting a career. Like he's getting a career where he's now no longer considered Edward Cullen. He's now Batman and all this other shit. He's like doing all kinds of weird roles.
I mean, Batman was bad.
He did a couple
I don't blame
of
him
those.
for it.
Right, he did a couple Safdie brothers movies where he they use him well, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, yeah, back to Twilight.
Yeah, so Bella's a vampire now, and she will proceed to spend the rest of the novel explaining what that feels like.
Yeah, and this is the point where I brought this up to you, like the hunting chapter. I guess that's the first chapter in Bella's section. Here, not quite, because we get the turning. So I think chapter 21.
It's the first chapter where something happens.
Yeah,
maybe.
Chapter 21 is the hunting chapter where she takes her first hunt with Edward. But you can already read this. So like Bella, her section slows down so much, like the pacing
instantly
just screeches to a halt. Like literally somebody slammed the emergency brake, and the story that was churning so fast under Jacob's section just completely stops. Like it just completely halts on the tracks. Like
yes, and now we're just looking at how defined everything is.
Right.
Because she has vampire eyes. Hang on, I gotta grab a drink.
Long ass fucking book, dude. Long ass fucking book.
Yeah, and it gets so fucking slow. So slow that at some point, time just has to pass. And they have to explain time. Stephenie Meyer just has to explain that time has passed, but
Yeah,
we'll get there.
and I texted you about this, and then you texted me about this because that really, I mean, this last section, I think you said you got really slowed down with it. Like,
Oh, because I was so bored. I didn't
like
care.
you said, yeah, it took you like longer to read those last like 300 pages than it did to read like the first 400. Like,
Well, mind you, I had already, so I had read everything, right, already. And it was one of those situations where it's like there's only so much to forget. So, like, all of the big plot points I remembered. The stuff in between those plot points wasn't enough to, like, be like, oh, I forgot about that. It wasn't like, I don't know, like every time I reread The Chamber of Secrets, you know? I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about that. Because so much happens.
right.
Not enough happens in this book. So once she has the baby and is a vampire, I'm like, all right, there's only like one thing left
Yeah.
to happen. And it's not going to happen for another like 400 pages.
And Bella's section opens with this quote by Orson Scott Card. Personal affection is a luxury you can have only after all your enemies are eliminated. Until then, everyone you love is a hostage, sapping your courage and corrupting your judgment. Yeah, and then we get the kind of like, okay, she's back to having her dreams of like her little baby, blah, 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 all that shit.
She sees her creepy baby. Her creepy baby is growing creepy fast.
Where am I? Okay, page 371, right? Where we get kind of, it's a rehashing,
Right.
rehashing of what we already saw through Jacob's eyes. So the same exact line from Edward. The placenta must have detached. Something sharper than knives ripped through me. The words making sense in spite of the other tortures. Detached placenta. I knew what that meant. It meant that my baby was dying inside me. Get him out, I screamed to Edward. Why hadn't he done it yet? He can't breathe. Do it now. The morphine. He wanted to wait to give me painkillers while our baby was dying? Nice little interrobang there, right? A question mark, exclamation point. No, now, I choked, unable to finish. Black spots covered the light in the room as a cold point of new pain stabbed icily into my stomach. It felt wrong. I struggled automatically to protect my womb, my baby, my little Edward Jacob. But I was weak. My lungs ached. Oxygen burned away. My little Edward Jacob. Jesus fucking Christ. Bella is insane. That's what I wrote in my notes right there. My little Edward Jacob is what she called her vampire baby. Why is Jacob included in this? Like,
Yeah, is this the first time we hear that? Because I remember her saying that it was either going to be EJ or Renesmee. And I was like, God, at least EJ sounds normal. Like, you know?
yeah. I don't know. I don't remember her saying anything about that because I guess I wasn't paying attention.
Maybe she didn't.
I mean, dude, there's so many things I didn't pay attention.
I could be conflating the book and the movie now, and in the movie they're just like, I was thinking either this or this. But I think they do that in the book a little bit earlier.
There are so many things that I don't remember after reading these books, dude, that like it's just, it could have happened and I'm just completely...
And they're like, it's one of a kind. I like it.
Yeah.
Just like our baby.
But like, it and this is, I brought this up last episode where...
I hate stupid names, man. I hate it when you get a really bad character name and there's just like no fucking good reason. And like, I get that she wanted it to be all symbolic of like the moms and like, oh, it's both of our moms. And otherwise I was going to name it after you and my best friend. Like, fuck our dads. They don't matter.
Yeah.
And I don't have any girlfriends because I'm not like other girls, so that's out of the question.
Isn't the middle name Carly out of the dad's names, she says?
Oh, right.
Where they combine Carlisle and Charlie.
Well, at least Carly is normal, too. It's ugly, but it's normal.
It's spelled differently, too, to, like, make it seem...
Yeah, because it's Charlie without an H.
Yeah, and Carlisle.
Yeah, which
whatever.
is just Charlie without an H.